Changing states of matter. Objective number 1. I can describe the processes that change states of matter. Objective number 2. I can explain how the particles move as matter changes from one state to another. To begin identifying the changing states of matter, we're going to look at the process. So the first process is evaporation. So when we're evaporating something, what state of matter is it changing from? The picture could help you. We have heat from the sun, right? We've got a warm ocean surface, and then it also shows water vapor. So what state of matter, a solid, liquid, or a gas, is what we first start with evaporation. Then you've got to figure out, when I'm evaporating something, what state of matter is it changing to? Look at the picture to help you. Is it changing to a solid, a liquid, or a gas? Take a moment to figure out what the state of matter is changing from and to by hitting pause. At the moment, we're not going to be filling in the action of particles. We're going to do that later in this video. Now let's focus on the process of freezing. So look at the picture. What state of matter, when I'm freezing, am I changing from? A solid, a liquid, or a gas? And then when I'm freezing something, what state of matter am I changing it to? A solid, a liquid, or a gas? Please hit pause to figure out what the two states of matter are when we're freezing something. Yet again, we're not going to focus on the action of the particles yet. We will work on that later in this video. Now we're going to look at condensation, also known as condensing. So when we look at that picture in the bottom left corner, we have this cold glass of water. And then we also have the warm air that's surrounding the glass. And notice that condensation is forming on the outside of that water glass. And then look to the right. We have a window, and it's covered in condensation. So let's fill up the top of your table for condensation. What state of matter is it changing from? A solid, a liquid, or a gas? And then what state of matter is it changing to? A solid, a liquid, or a gas? Use both pictures to help you. And remember, we are not filling in the action of the particles yet. Please hit pause so you can finish filling out the states of matter for condensation. So now we're looking at the process of boiling. All right, so we've got this spaghetti that we're cooking. So what state of matter is that pot of boiling spaghetti changing from? And what state of matter is it changing to? Notice the steam that's rising in the background from that pot of cooked spaghetti. All right, hit pause so you can figure out the states of matter from and to. Solid, liquid, gas are your options. And remember, we are not filling in the action of particles at this time. So now we're changing matter by melting it. So what state of matter am I changing it from? I have a picture of an ice cream cone melting, a candle that's melting, or icicles that melting. So what state of matter are they changing from? Solid, liquid, or gas? And then what state of matter are they changing to in all three situations? A solid, a liquid, or gas? Hit pause so you can complete the states of matter for melting, and do not complete the action of the particles at this time. Sublimation is our last process for changing states of matter. So dry ice goes through sublimation, and so does actually the Mount Everest, and it all has to do with the perfect setting on Mount Everest. They said the Chinook winds enable it to go from a certain state of matter to another state of matter. So think about those at Halloween when you see the spooky haunted houses. They're using dry ice. What state of matter is that dry ice coming from? And then what state of matter is that dry ice changing to? It's the same thing that's occurring on Mount Everest. Hit pause so you can complete your table. Do not, yet again, let me repeat, do not complete the action of the particles at this time. Here's a flowchart for the changing states of matter. When we start with a gas and I go immediately to a liquid, that's condensation. The water is condensing onto the windows, or the water is condensing onto the bottle of water. However, when I'm going from a liquid to a gas, usually we think of boiling water, okay, to make boiled eggs or spaghetti or corn. But also when it happens in nature, we might call it vaporization. Or evaporating is another way to think of it too, besides vaporization, but they mean the same thing. They're synonyms. Now, when I go from a liquid to a solid, I'm freezing something. That's how I'm creating my ice cubes. If I go from a solid to a liquid, I'm melting. That's what those ice cubes will do in warmer weather. Now this change in state is totally different than anything we're used to. It's called sublimation. It's when I go from a solid to a gas. I skip the liquid phase completely. Now we have Mount Everest has this occur on it. The temperatures are still very low when it's happening. However, they have intense sunlight, and that's why the snow and ice is able to change exactly from a solid to a gas without changing to a liquid first. And that's the same thing that occurs with dry ice. We have these perfect conditions. These don't happen all the time where you skip the liquid phase. Now using this chart, I want you to check to see if you got the correct states of matter changing from and to for all 6 of our processes: melting, freezing, evaporating. Remember, evaporating also is known as vaporization, boiling, condensing, and subliming or sublimation. So please hit pause and check your work. If you made a mistake, please fix it. Now I want you to think back when you acted out the 3 different states of matter in the back of the room with Mrs. Colville. All right, you acted out the solids, you acted out the liquid, and then you acted out the gas. So you need to think about how those particles are moving. So now we're going to figure out the action of the particles. So I've already started it. So I put dash and moving. So when I'm evaporating something and I'm changing from a liquid to a gas, am I moving faster or am I moving slower? Hit pause so you can complete that, please. Now, underneath, I want you to put another dash, and I want you to tell me, are the particles moving closer together, or are they spreading apart? Are they sliding past each other, or are they tightly packed together? Hit pause, and I want you to complete that one, please. Now, the last bullet I want you to do for action of particles is to tell me about the energy. Is the energy increasing or is the energy decreasing? Hit pause and please complete that one also. Remember, think back to when you acted out the liquids and the gases to help you complete all 3 bullets under action of particles. Now let's look at the process of freezing. So I'm changing from a liquid to a solid, and let's look at the action of the particles as I change from a liquid to a solid. So the first bullet should be, how is it moving? Is it moving faster, slower? Is it vibrating? All right, so please hit pause and fill out how those particles are moving. Now for the second bullet for the action of particles as I'm freezing something, are they sliding past each other? Are they tightly packed together in neat rows? Are they spreading apart? Are they moving closer together? So hit pause and please complete how the action particles are moving as it's freezing. Now the last bullet, tell me what the energy is doing. Is the energy increasing? Or is it decreasing? Or is it an intensive energy? So hit pause and complete the last bullet for the freezing, telling me how the action of particles are moving. So now we're focusing on the process of condensation or condensing. So I'm going from a gas to a liquid. So let's fill in those 3 bullets about the action of the particles as I'm going through condensation or condensing a substance. So how are they moving? So that's the first bullet. Are they moving faster, slower? Are they vibrating, meaning they're barely moving? So please hit pause and complete the first bullet. Now let's complete the second bullet. Are the particles slip sliding past each other? Are they tightly packed together? Are they spreading apart? Are they moving closer together? So hit pause and complete the second bullet. Tell me how the particles are moving. And then let's complete the third bullet. Tell me about the energy of those particles. Is the energy increasing? Is the energy decreasing? Is it an intensive energy? So hit pause and complete the third bullet for the action of the particles as the state of matter is going through condensation. Now we're going to talk about the changing states of matter during the process of boiling. So our states of matter change from a liquid to a gas. So let's fill in the action of the particles of our table. So tell me how the particles are moving. Are they moving faster? Are they moving slower? Are they vibrating? Are they barely moving? Please hit pause and complete that first bullet. Now, let's complete the second bullet. So are the particles slip sliding past each other? Are they tightly packed together in neat rows? Are they spreading apart? Are they moving closer? So please complete the second bullet by hitting pause. Now let's talk about its energy when we're going through the boiling process. Is the energy increasing? Is the energy decreasing? Or is it a very intensive energy? Okay, hit pause and complete the action of the particles for boiling. Now we're going to talk about the process of melting. So I'm going from a solid to a liquid. So let's complete the action of the particles part of our table again. So tell me how those particles are moving. Are they moving faster? Are they moving slower? Are they barely moving, like they're vibrating? So please hit pause and complete the first bullet. Now let's work on the second bullet. So you're going to tell me, are the particles slip sliding past each other? Are they tightly packed together in neat rows? Are they spreading apart? Are they moving closer together? Hit pause and complete the second bullet of the table. And last, let's do the third bullet. Tell me about the energy. Is the energy increasing? Is the energy decreasing? Or is it a very intense energy? We can barely describe it. So hit pause and complete the last bullet of the action of the particles when a substance is going through the melting process. So now we're going through the fun process, sublimation. So our state of matter is changing from a solid to a gas. So now you're going to tell me, remember we're skipping the liquid phase when we go through sublimation. So now you're going to tell me how the action of the particles are for this when we go completely from a solid to a gas. So, describe for the first bullet how they're moving. Are they moving faster? Are they moving slower? Are they vibrating, meaning they're barely moving? Are they going through this extreme increase in motion? What's going on for sublimation? So hit pause and finish that bullet, please. Now, let's complete the second bullet for the action of the particles during sublimation. Are the particles slip sliding past each other? Are they tightly packed together in neat rows? Are they spreading apart? Are they moving closer together? Or are they spreading apart quickly? What do you think? So hit pause and write what you think, please. Now let's complete the third bullet, the energy. I know, we're getting sick of hearing about all 3 of these, aren't we? So tell me about the energy. Is the energy increasing? Is the energy decreasing? Or is it this intense energy? Hit pause and complete the last bullet in the action of the particles during sublimation.